into the week 4 of this training block. 4 out of 5 was gonna be a 5-week training block, and then a deload, and then a 4-week training block going into comp. So we're getting pretty close. As of this training video, not when it's coming out, but like during this training week, we're about 7.5-ish weeks out. Yeah, we're closing in bit by bit. It's 3 count pause clean squats at 305. Actually, I think is what it was, not 295, but that's all right. Not super important. Bench is continuing to move along nicely, able to chip away 2.5, 5 kilos like every training session every week. Up until this point, this is the heaviest that I had repped out as well. 110 for a triple. Technique is feeling pretty locked in. So yeah, pretty pleased. So far, no flare-ups of pain, no re-aggravations. Small little things here and there, but it dissipates really, really fast. And yeah, shoulder has not been an issue at all. Hopefully it stays that way. I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, so far we've been golden on that front. Getting into some RDLs here. These are actually feeling a little better than I expected on the day. So did 2 sets of 8 at 1 at 140, and then the second one at 150 here. Haven't really noticed much of a difference using a belt for RDLs. Obviously I'm stronger, and my average weight has increased like 20 to 40 kilos depending on the day. But I'm not really seeing any specific advantage from that in my competition deadlift or squats. But I'm also not seeing any negatives. I'm not feeling more fatigued from it at all. In fact, I think in some ways my back is less fatigued. So I guess that's a small positive there. Out of the dumbbell bench, these are continuing to feel really good. And yeah, since I'm doing no variations on bench right now, Coach and I decided to just run the competition bench press 4 days a week into this competition. For a couple of reasons. One, rehab. It's going to be a little bit easier rebuilding back up in a super specific manner. But 2, just to keep things super tight and in line so that I don't re-aggravate things anymore, doing a bunch of different movement patterns. But we're going to be getting the long range of motion, raw strength, hypertrophy stimulus from dumbbell bench. And yeah, get a fat pump every time I do dumbbell bench. So this is pretty nice. Accessories this day were just some rows and skull crushers. Wednesday, this is a subset of 5, and then 3 pack off sets of 5. This is me last warm, I think, or not last warm up, second to last warm up. I was actually feeling surprisingly good this day. This previous week, my legs were fried from a lot of hiking and skiing. Now my legs are recovered and feeling good, so I was able to push it just a tiny bit. And I did 165 for my top set of 5, which is really good. This is the most that I've done so far this training block, and moved really well. I feel like depth is really solid. Been filming a lot of side angles on back offs, and it looks good. It looks good. Hopefully, I'm not lying to myself, but getting good feedback from myself as a coach and a referee, from my coach, and from friends. So should be cool on that front. Tad bit paranoid from nationals, so I never got called for depth the way that I did at nationals, but it is what it is. this. Bench this day. Bench is feeling pretty strong here again. So I've just been chipping away 2.5, 5 kilos every single week. And every time I do a top single, just twice a week actually, I've been able to add 2.5 every time I do a top single. So that's like every other session, adding load to the bar. This is the first time hitting 2 reds again since I hurt my shoulder. Decent pause, nice and fast press. Really, really good to get back to this point. And then some clean, easy sets of 5 at 100 kilos. Deadlifts were pretty damn good on this day as well. I started off feeling just a little bit tired and not quite in the groove. This was my first set at 210, did 5 doubles here. Well, yeah, watching this back, these look super, super fast. This was the last set. So, throughout 5 sets, didn't really slow down at all. And then back off the pause single, prescribed RP 8. So, this was the warm-up at 7, and I did 507 for my single at 8. I think this might actually be the most that I've paused on a stiff bar, which is pretty cool. A little funky off the ground, but it moved really well once. We got it off the ground. Pause didn't feel pretty hard. It didn't feel hard at all either. Good. Thursday, just a volume bench day. This day felt kind of off, really out of the groove and a little hard. I think maybe just doing a set of 4 and then a bunch of 6s after a heavy single may just not be the move. So going forward in the peaking block, might have the higher volume day be Monday and the triples day be Thursday, or honestly might just bring all of the reps down. So can have a little conversation with my coach about exactly what route we want to go there. But usually we have at least one day it'll be at least moderate rep range in this prep. So we'll see. We have a lot of options. There probably isn't really a right answer, just slightly better and slightly worse. But yeah, back to the dumbbell bench again on this day. Did I think 3 or 4 sets, working up to this last one. I don't think this was my last one actually. I think this might have been the first and second one. I did not pay attention to when I was recording, if I'm honest. That threw in some JM press. I wanted some sort of a heavier tricep compound movement, and it's been quite a long time since I've done JM presses, so yeah, pretty out of the groove on these. Would like to see my elbows tucked in a lot more, but aside from that, I did actually get a pretty good tricep stimulus, so maybe I'll keep these in. Then finish off the day here with some chest supported rows. Into Saturday, the second to last heavy day of this block. So I came in not ready to explode and go crazy, but having some decent expectations and knowing I wanted to push it just a little bit, aim for RP 7.5 to 8-ish, and Quasta feeling really, really good. I was being very intentional about slowing down my descent during my warm-ups so that my descent is the same speed throughout all of my sets. So I tend to descend fairly fast when the weight's light, and then slow down little by little as the weight gets heavier. There's no inherent problem with this, but one of the general pieces of advice that I give to my athletes for the sake of consistency is having a consistent descent speed, especially if depth is something that you're being aware of. So something I was thinking about this training session was slowing down my descent speed purposely so that it was the exact same as my descent speed with like 170, 180, 190 plus. Yeah. I think it worked out really well actually. I felt very in the groove, I felt really confident, I was moving well, I felt strong. And yeah, I think that's something that I'm going to keep in and continue to be intentional about. This is last warm up here, 185. Feeling pretty easy, feeling good. So jumped up 10 kilos to 195. This is 5 kilos more than last week. We've been at about the same speed as last week, I think is. Back offs for 3 sets of 3 at 170. I actually went up to 175 on my last set, but one is not recorded here. So yeah, doing back off triples. I think 175 might actually be the heaviest back off sets that I've ever done. So I guess that's kind of cool. Didn't really realize that at the time. Bench today was feeling really strong too. Just feeling really in the groove, and it went really, really well. So I got 120 here as a last warm up. Flying way faster than the 120 I did just a couple of days prior. So back up to 125. Hell yeah. This is generally right at or right under opener range for me. So that means we're pretty much at normal working weights. And this is the last back off set at 105 for set of 5. Noticing I'm crooked, but I've always been crooked, and I don't think it's any more exaggerated now than it was pre-injury. So moving pretty much exactly the same as it was previously, which is good. Deadlifts this day were okay. I was a little frustrated today, or with the deadlifts this day. It feels like everything flies and feels super easy until like 5:10, 5:15 plus, all of a sudden it just feels super hard. I was just kind of annoyed. So it's not a big deal. I don't need to be super strong right now, but it happens.